guys, thank you for coming to my channel. Today I'll be making some chicken Alfredo, really easy and simple. So let's get started. Please be sure to like and subscribe. So first of all, we're going to start with the cut chicken, and then we're going to add a little bit of salt and then some black pepper. And we're going to go ahead and just mix it really well, and we're going to keep it marinated for about 15 to 30 minutes just so we can get all the flavors in there. And then after this process, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start frying this in a medium heat with either oil or butter. I chose oil, but we're going to go ahead, and this next slide you can see we're going to go ahead and fry this slowly, maybe 2-3 minutes on each side, and then repeat it. We're going to keep doing this until obviously until the chicken is cooked, and then it just becomes a little bit golden brown, as you're going to slowly start seeing here in the next slide or so. Make sure to keep a space between the chicken fillets that we're using as well, just so it's cooked. And of course, taste the chicken just to make sure that it is fully cooked. Otherwise, it's not getting really cooked while we add the Alfredo and the fettuccine in. And now you can see like the oil kind of evaporating a little bit, and then the chicken, you can see the color change a little bit as well. This is exactly what we want. With this, you can see that it's maybe 90% cooked, and maybe another 2 minutes or so will probably be done. In this whole process, I think the longest time it took was to individually just make sure the chicken is cooked first. And in the end, this is how it should be. It's all good. So what we're gonna do is, of course, we're gonna go ahead and remove it from the pan and individually go ahead and do the rest of the chicken that I have. It took me about 6 minutes to cook this amount of chicken. If you have a bigger bowl, that's fine. You can add in as many chicken as you'd like, but it took me about that time frame. So now I'm going to go ahead and cook the rest of the chicken that I have. Some of my chicken pieces are a little big, so I cook it and then I cut it according to it and then add it in the Alfredo next. So for the fettuccine, I'm using these tricolor ones that are sold here. But then you can use, packet ones that you have. I'm adding a little bit of salt into a big pot. Wait till it boils, and I'm adding the pasta, the fettuccine in. These ones were already pre-cooked, so you can cook it fully or just like halfway through before adding it to the Alfredo. But these were really cool. It only took me about 5 minutes to cook. And for the main thing, we're adding some fresh garlic cloves and then onions. We're gonna go ahead and wait till that they are fully brown before we add the spices in. I'm adding a little bit of mushrooms to this, only because we love mushrooms in our food, so we try to squeeze that in as much as we can. So I'm adding some freshly chopped mushrooms that we have, maybe about 1.5 cups of it, and then we can go ahead and cook it for up to maybe 5 minutes fully, just until the mushroom is fully cooked. And you will know obviously when you are cooking it that when you're cooking mushrooms, they take in a lot of oil. So I am going to be adding a little bit of melted butter in the middle of this, a little bit, just to give that flavor as well, and to make sure that the pan is not too dried for it to quickly cook. So the color should be changing in the mushrooms soon. It becomes a little bit of a darker brown color depending on the mushrooms that you're using. So we're just gonna let it cook, and I'm cooking this in medium heat. And now I'm just adding in that melted butter. You can add a little bit of oil as well, just so it's not but make sure it's just not too oily, as that we don't want that in the Alfredo. While this is cooking by itself, I am gonna go ahead and cut those the chicken pieces that I have into smaller pieces, and we're gonna add a little bit of spiced oregano here, flakes, and then I'm adding a little bit of sweet basil. Those two things that I'm adding right now are optional. With sweet basil, I tend to add a lot, only because the taste is so much better that way. But again, those two things are optional. I add it to bring a little bit of flavor to the Alfredo. We're also gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt, and then we're gonna add a little bit of red peppers, chili red peppers, a little bit later on. Yep, so now it's time for the chicken to go in. As you can tell, the mushrooms are fully cooked. Adding in the chicken that I have here. And we're going to go ahead and we don't have to cook it too much. We're just going to go ahead and make sure that the mushrooms and the chicken is combined together really well. And then we're just going to let it cook on some maybe low heat while we tend to cook everything thoroughly. And now that it has all seeped in together, I'm adding the red chilies that I was speaking about. You can add as much as you want if you like it spicy, and or if you like it a little bit, mild, according to taste. You can go ahead and do that. But I've added the salt as well, and I'm mixing this really well. Now we're gonna go ahead and add 1 cup of milk, and then we're also adding 3/4 cup cream. You can duplicate, and then you can, if you don't have cream, you can just forget about the milk and the cream and just add half and half, which is sold in most stores. I wasn't able to find it in mine, so I added cream instead with milk. But we're gonna go ahead and cook this. We want it to be a little bit not milky but watery a little bit, just until we add the pasta in, and that way you can cook it on a low heat. And we don't want it to be too thick as well. We want that creaminess in the pasta. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in the pasta now, and then it just looks like this in the end. The pasta seeps in all of the milk and the creaminess of it, and then that's pretty much it. I'm adding a little bit more pasta to mine as over here. There you go. So this recipe again is very easy. It took me about 30 minutes to make everything. It only took me a little bit while to cook the chicken, as I had a smaller pot. But check the salt. If you need to add more, add it. With the spices as well, the chili powder, you can add more according to taste. But this is cooked. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix everything in the end together and just show you how it looks. But please let me know if you guys have any questions while watching this video. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. Now that I'm mixing it, you can see the creaminess still inside the pan at the bottom there. That's how it should be at the end. But this is it. This is the recipe, guys. I hope you guys liked it. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment it below if you guys have any questions. Thank you.